All right, welcome to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches down here at Levi's Stadium. And just behind me, day one of 49ers training camp wrapped up. And I tell you, it was a very good first day, as all first days of training camp usually are. But outside of a Jacob Cowing hamstring pull, there was no injury to report, which is good. Again, they're just out there wearing shorts. There's shells, but no shoulder pads. No one's wearing any pads. There's very little contact. It's just running and breeze work for the most part. But it's our first time seeing the entire team out on the field together. You get some reps of first team going on second team, but again, it's all shadow boxing, so I don't know how much it really matters. Pads go on Monday. So the next day that I'll be down here will be Monday. But day one, here are the headlines. Number one, it's the first time we've seen Alfred Collins in person on a field since being drafted by the 49ers. He's finally in now, and I will tell you, either the rest of their defensive line is full of small guys, or he is absolutely huge. And by the way, my hair is going to be blowing in a funny way just this entire video. I can feel it. I can see it already. Anyway, Alfred Collins is a monster, a gargantuan human being. He looked good today. Again, moved well. Everyone is bouncy. Day one of training camp, obviously. Juwan Jennings was here. I know that he's got his contract dispute, but Juwan Jennings was here today, and he was out there and participating, full participant in the in day one of training camp. So Juwan Jennings is here with the right attitude, and hopefully they just take care of him and get that done. Ricky Pearsall, speaking of wide receivers, obviously on the physically unable to perform list, but he looked more than physically able to perform on the side field, where he was doing real side work. He wasn't just jogging or half stepping. Ricky Pearsall was running hard, cutting hard, and hopefully his return to training camp won't be too far into training camp. It looks like you can expect to track it that way. I'm going to go through my notes. I just made a ton of notes today. I'm going to kind of empty it on you. Tim Kawakami had his annual sit down with Kyle Shanahan, and Shanahan talked about how he's envisioning this as a new 3-year window. I guess that's a nice way to say that the old window is kind of closed now. But Shanahan's basically looking at this as a new 3-year window for his team. And I think, that's reasonable. I can already see the comments coming in saying, oh, no. The Super Bowl window's open or closed. Don't start new. There's some people who will never be happy until they hear the words, the 49ers have won the Super Bowl. But to look at this maturely, I think you do kind of have to break down your football team into 3-year windows and then measure the success in that window. And I think that the 49ers are set up to have a good year one of this new 3-year window that Kyle talks about, as they're assimilating a whole bunch of new players and obviously saying goodbye to a few players that fans, really cared about. But that's the way football works. And the 49ers did need to get younger. We all know that. There's no pretending that wasn't a reality that they were facing. And you look at the amount of top shelf liquor on their team, the amount of rookies on their team, and it's hard to see a robust middle class. And that's what this year is going to be figuring out. Who's good enough to play on this team, even though they're not being paid like a Pro Bowler? That is what the 49ers are going to have to, that's where the rubber meets the road. When it comes to new guys, new faces, today we got our first look at Equanimeous St. Brown, the wide receiver that they just signed 24 hours ago. He was out there today working out with the offense. And I'll tell you this about Equanimeous St. Brown. They're going to have to start throwing the ball a little bit lower, because they are throwing everything really high to him, to the point where, I'm not even saying he dropped that. He couldn't get his hands on it. Few overthrows for St. Brown as they get to know their new teammate. He's huge. Equanimeous St. Brown is huge. Why has the guy had a middling NFL career to this point? I do not understand it. His brother obviously is a cause celeb on his team, but Equanimeous St. Brown has the body type that the 49ers are absolutely looking for, as does undrafted rookie Isaiah Nayer. I mean, this guy, it's impossible to look at him and say, okay, undrafted player, he might not even make the team. He looks like he was stamped out of a customized, this is how I would design a wide receiver body type. His archetype is first ballot Hall of Famer, but again, he wasn't even drafted. So How much do you want to count on a guy like that? I do not know. But if looks could kill, Isaiah Nayer is going to be a killer, man. He is an absolute freakish sized athlete. Demarcus Robinson, another guy who is bigger than you expected him to be whenever you see him out there. He is having impressive moments in camp that I've been around every single time. Demarcus Robinson, look, start that suspension so you can end it. You can really get him into this team because I think he's going to have a good year for the 49ers. A couple of rookies, starting with wide receiver Jordan Watkins. Again, if it doesn't happen for Jordan Watkins, how? Like, he just had an awful lot of success in one of the toughest conferences in the country, was tearing up the SEC, is here now, and he looks the part. He absolutely has the requisite size, speed. It just looks like a player who, we haven't hardly even talked about. In terms of wide receiver depth, we don't talk about Jordan Watkins as either he's helping it or hurting it. Jordan Watkins could be a massive X factor of how this wide receiver room ends up shaking out when it's all said and done. Let's see. D. Winters had a pick of Brock Purdy today. Everybody, D. Winters had a pick of Brock Purdy. Really nice play for D. Winters. I think Brock's safe. I don't think he's going to be DFA'd anytime soon or cut. Jason Pinnock, the safety, he looked really good today. Kyle even brought him up in the post-camp press conference, talking about how Pinnock was impressive, and he's had a whole lot of reps at the position just due to happenstance and circumstance, and he's made the most of it. Again, that is going to apply to an awful lot of guys on the 49ers. You've been handed an opportunity here. Did you grab it? Did you take it? Let's see. Nick Martin, another impressive defensive rookie player who looks like Nick Martin between rookie minicamp about a month and a half ago and today. He looks like he's put on 15 pounds of muscle, maybe shaved a little body fat. Like, Nick Martin is more physically impressive today than he was at rookie minicamp. So good to see him taking things seriously. He's going to be a big part of that new 3-year window opening that Kyle Shanahan is talking about. Let's see, what else do we got today? Did I bury the lead by waiting about 8 minutes into this video before I even told you about Christian McCaffrey? All I can tell you about Christian McCaffrey is he looks unaffected by everything that affected last season so greatly and dramatically and severely. Christian McCaffrey looks springy, bouncy, happy, ready to go, lightning quick. He's cutting with anger. I mean, he is really running hard. He looks exactly the same as the guy who was the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year just 2 years ago. And then everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong for Christian McCaffrey. He's got a new baby at home. He is very, very, I think, happy to be out with the guys. I bet you his new alarm clock is getting him up a little bit earlier than he might even want to. But man, Christian McCaffrey just looks like 1,000% ready to go, to the point where I'm just going to say, let's pretend last year didn't happen. Mulligan year. I don't want to hear about bilateral Achilles tendonitis again until it actually takes him out of a game. Like, this guy looks ready to play football, as does Isaac Guerendo. Every single time Isaac Guerendo touches the ball, it feels like something fast is about to happen. He's got great hands. I mean, outstanding hands out of the backfield, and Guerendo just turns it upfield so fast. He whips his head and his hips around, and he just starts going. I think Isaac Guerendo is poised to have a huge year, along with Jordan James and Izzy Abinaconda. Running back room depth should not be a problem all year long, because it looks like the 49ers got 2-3 guys who are buried on this depth chart. Patrick Taylor, another one of those guys, buried on this depth chart, who could really go in there and play significant snaps if you needed him to. But between McCaffrey looking as good as he ever has, Isaac Guerendo looking as fast as a Lamborghini, and the addition of Jordan James, who we don't really even know anything about yet, and again, Abinaconda is impressive. He just looks like a guy who's about to score a touchdown. He fills the uniform out the right way. Couple of more fills out the uniform right way all-stars to tell you about. Dude, Mason Pline. Let me just tell you, between George Kittle, who's the man, obviously, and by the way, nobody looks like they're having more fun out there than George Kittle. Kittle, maybe it's the hair flowing out of the helmet. I don't know. My hair flowing out of the helmet right here. George Kittle is just, every single football team needs a George Kittle on it. He's an awesome teammate. You can just see it. You can see awesome teammate emanating off of him. Ross Dwelley, Luke Farrell are guys who aren't going to be pushing Kittle, obviously, but will be battling to play tight end. If Mason Pline isn't involved in this year, shame on him. Mason Pline's size, speed, body type scream, I can do this. So I really hope he can do it. And if Mason Pline can do it, how much easier is it for the 49ers to do what they want to do? And I think part of this year is going to be fugaziing up their wide receiver core and maybe having Kittle off the line of scrimmage and in that bunch set to the left. You know, I just think that Kittle needs to come off the line of scrimmage for the 49ers season a little bit. Or Pline needs to be a guy who, if you need Kittle to block because he's so good at it, Pline needs to be a guy who can go out and catch the ball at the position. Luke Farrell, again, 0 career touchdowns. Ross Dwelley back here for a second time around. Who knows how that goes? Mason Pline has a huge opportunity to make this team, and we'll see if he does it. What else have I got for you here in the notebook? Anything else? Oh, okay, one last thing. I'm glad I opened this. Two guys to tell you about. First of all, he's a rookie out of Washington. He made an impression on me during rookie mini camp, and today he made another impression of me. Just his get off, his size, his body type. Sebastian Valdez, who's wearing number 55, rookie defensive tackle out of Washington. Just remember that name. Just remember the name Sebastian Valdez. I think there's a way that he could find himself to this roster, especially if there's any sort of controversy or injury or anything like that along this defensive line. Mikael Williams, again, he's the no number one pick in the NFL this year has had an easier start to their lives than Mikael Williams. We're not even talking about him. He was out there today, obviously. Alfred Collins is where my eyes were. But, you know, a very young, very big, very fast, brand new defensive line. Again, it's going to have to fire to really make this an impact year one of the new 3-year window that Shanahan is talking about, at least to Tim Kawakami. I told you about Equimania St. Brown. The fun thing that happened today on a simple 4-yard dump off, checked it down. Mac Jones hit DeMarcus Robinson in the middle of the field and then put the holster away. Boom. That was pretty funny. You don't see a lot of guys holstering the firearm after a 4-yard dump off to DeMarcus Robinson, but that's what you want out here. You want guys looking like they're having fun. You want guys enjoying themselves and being excited back out on the football field. And they were. I'll tell you, if you're a 49er fan lucky enough to grab tickets to come on down and watch training camp, you are going to be seated so far in the back of practice, bring binoculars. You'll have about 3 football fields of distance in between you and the team as they go over some drills. At least that's the way it's set up. They've sort of rejiggered their practice field layouts, and they've got more room for the team, less room for media and fans than previously. So the fans that were here, I was joking around. I'm like, hey, can we move those fans back a little bit more? They were very far back. But if you're coming down here, the weather is fantastic, and I hope you have a great time. I really, really do. Day 1, 49er training camp opens. Cowing, little hamstring tweak, nothing else to report from player availability or injury standpoint, which is good news. No news is good news there. And pads go on Monday, which means I'll be back here on Monday. But boy, I hope you like and subscribe to the channel because we're going to keep going. It was great to see. There were probably more content creators and YouTube guys down here than there were from established media outlets. I really mean it. I saw a ton of guys down here who are doing a great job covering this football team. And if you think we're doing a great job, I'm doing a great job, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe as well. But comment. I want to know what you think of day one, what Monday, day one of pads needs to look like for the 49ers. Again, thanks so much to Ike of Ike's Sandwiches for sponsoring the channel. Thank you so much to our good friends at the Dubliner West Portal for being incredible sponsors. Thank you for hitting a like and subscribe. If you would, just like this bad boy, and that'll make the algorithm push it out, baby. Push it out. And then we'll really start shoving each other on Monday when the pads go on. Thanks for watching. Boom from Santa Clara.